They say the most powerful moments in life are the ones never meant to be seen. The kind that happen in silence. The kind that slip through when no one is watching. But sometimes, the world catches a glimpse anyway. And when it comes to Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun, one single hidden moment has now set the internet on fire. A moment that wasn't planned. A moment that wasn't scripted. A moment that has fans whispering, gasping, and replaying the clip over and over again. It all started at an award show in Seoul. The atmosphere was glittering, the cameras flashing, the stage lit in golden tones. Celebrities filled the hall, each dressed in their finest, while reporters lined the red carpet. The world was watching, waiting to see who would shine brightest that night. Lee Min-ho walked in first, tall, confident, in a black tailored suit that turned heads instantly. Minutes later, Kim Go-eun arrived. Graceful, radiant, in a flowing gown the color of midnight, her smile soft but mesmerizing. Individually they were captivating. But everyone knew, deep down, that it was when they were together that sparks seemed to ignite in ways no one could ignore. Throughout the evening, cameras tried their best to capture every expression, every glance, every laugh. But even in such a public setting, there was something more intimate that unfolded. Something not meant for the cameras at all. Because, as fans would later discover, one hidden moment between Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun slipped through the cracks. And it was enough to change everything. During a commercial break, when the broadcast cameras were turned away, something happened. Something quiet. Something tender. Kim Go-eun had leaned slightly forward in her chair, adjusting her gown as she reached for her drink. The hall was buzzing with chatter, music playing softly in the background. No one was paying much attention. No one except Lee Min-ho. Without hesitation, he leaned toward her. At first, it looked as if he was about to say something. But then, in the most subtle of gestures, he reached out with his hand and brushed away a loose strand of hair that had fallen across her face. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. But it was undeniably intimate. A protective, almost instinctive move, like he couldn't stop himself. And here's the part that fans can't stop talking about. Kim Go-eun's reaction. The moment his fingers brushed her cheek, she froze for the briefest second, her eyes flicking up to his. And then, as though unable to hide her heart, a smile bloomed across her face. Not the polished smile of an actress on stage. Not the practiced grin for flashing cameras. But a genuine unguarded smile that came straight from the soul. For a heartbeat, the world seemed to pause. He looked at her, she smiled back, and though no words were exchanged, the silence said everything. They thought no one saw. They thought the cameras weren't rolling. But they were wrong. A fan seated in the upper balcony had been recording the hall during the break. The clip, just a few seconds long, captured the entire exchange. And once it was posted online, it spread like wildfire. Within hours, hashtags flooded social media. Hashtag Lee Min-ho Kim Go-eun. Hashtag hidden moment. Hashtag the smile that said "oh." Millions of fans replayed the video, slowing it down frame by frame. Some pointed out the softness in Lee Min-ho's eyes as he leaned closer. Others highlighted the way Kim Go-eun couldn't stop smiling afterward, her cheeks visibly flushed. Edits, GIFs, and compilations appeared overnight. And soon, the world wasn't just talking about their awards or their work. They were talking about them. Because that one hidden moment had revealed more than any interview, more than any press statement ever could. And yet, what made it so powerful wasn't just the gesture itself. It was the fact that it wasn't meant to be seen. You see, Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun know the world is always watching. Every step, every glance, every interaction is carefully dissected by fans and media alike. Which is why, for them, private moments are rare treasures. Moments where they can simply be themselves, without the weight of expectation. But when that barrier slipped for just a second, fans got to witness something raw and unfiltered. And that's why it hit so deeply. Because it wasn't just about him brushing her hair away. It was about what it meant. Care. Attention. A quiet kind of love that doesn't need words. The internet buzzed with theories. They're more than friends. Look at that smile. This isn't acting. This is real. He couldn't help himself. That was instinct. Some skeptics brushed it off, saying it was harmless, nothing more than courtesy. But those who followed them for years knew better. They've seen the way his gaze lingers when she speaks. They've noticed the way she laughs more freely when he's beside her. They've caught the subtle mirroring of movements, the way two people do when they've grown comfortable in each other's presence. And now, this moment had confirmed what so many had long believed, that between Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun, something deeper exists. In the days that followed, neither of them addressed the video directly. No statements, no clarifications, no denial. But maybe that silence spoke louder than words ever could. Because sometimes, the truth doesn't need to be explained. Sometimes, it just needs to be seen. For fans, that hidden moment wasn't just about romance. It was about hope. Hope that love, real, gentle and unguarded, can still exist, even in the spotlight of fame. Hope that two people, brought together by fate and work, could find something more lasting than scripts and roles. Hope that maybe, just maybe, the story of Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun isn't just a fantasy played out on screen, but something quietly unfolding in reality. And that's why the world can't stop replaying that clip. Because in just a few seconds, it gave them something to believe in. They thought no one saw. They thought it was their secret. But fans spotted it. And once seen, it could never be unseen. The hidden moment has now become a symbol. A reminder that the strongest connections aren't always declared with words or displayed with grandeur. Sometimes, they are whispered in a smile. Sometimes they are written in a touch. And sometimes, they are captured in a fleeting instant. An instant nobody was meant to see, yet one that changes everything once it's revealed. So perhaps the real story here isn't about what was caught on camera. Perhaps the real story is about what lies beyond it. The unspoken bond. The trust. The quiet certainty that, no matter the noise of the outside world, there is something undeniably real between Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun. And that is why fans are losing it. Because they didn't just spot a moment. They spotted love. But here's the thing about moments like these. The world may call them hidden, but for the people who live them, they are unforgettable. For Lee Min-ho, that tiny gesture, reaching out to brush a strand of hair away from Kim Go-eun's face, wasn't about being romantic for the cameras. It wasn't about putting on a show. It was instinct. A reflex born out of years of knowing her, of seeing her, of wanting her to be comfortable even in the smallest ways. And for Kim Go-eun, that smile she couldn't hold back wasn't about performance. It wasn't about image. It was her heart speaking louder than her mind, telling the truth in a single glance. That's what fans felt deep in their bones when they watched the clip. It wasn't staged. It wasn't polished. It was raw. And maybe that's why it hit so much harder than any scripted drama could. Because let's be honest, on screen, Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun already have the kind of chemistry that makes people believe in soulmates. But off-screen, when no one is supposed to be looking, and they still have that same electricity, that's when you know it's real. Some fans said the moment reminded them of something simple yet profound, that real love doesn't always need grand gestures. It doesn't need roses or fireworks. Sometimes, love shows up in the way someone notices the smallest details. Like hair falling in your face. Like your dress being out of place. Like protecting your comfort without even thinking twice. And the silence after